visit to Stellina. The last time he came, it was 4 years ago. It seems like yesterday, really. But every time he comes, he draws more and more people. Because not only does he talk about his wonderful books, but he also plays his wonderful fiddle. Jerry was just in Tanglewood for the month, and as he does every summer, and so he always likes to tie in his new books with his visit, because he lives in Utah. So please let's welcome Jerry Elias.
Thank you very much, and first of all, I'd like to thank Ginny and Stellina for hosting these author events, because they really are unique, and also the food is incredible. So, and I'm kind of distracted by the aroma coming from so my first 4 books were all based on pieces of music that had to do with death. Devil's Trill, Danse Macabre, Death and the Maiden, Death and Transfiguration, all great pieces of classical music. The book tonight that's coming up, Playing with Fire, I've taken a different approach. The new perspective is I've chosen venues where musicians are traditionally inclined to want to commit murder. So Playing with Fire takes place in a violin-making shop, and probably you don't know too much about violin making and violin dealing, but it's a field that is quite susceptible to shenanigans, if not outright larceny. And this book is, in a way, based upon real-life experiences and real-life events. There was once a internationally well-known violin dealer named Detmar Machold, who built an empire of buying and selling expensive, multi-million-dollar Stradivarius type instruments. And it was only after years that people started to realize that he had conned everyone by selling instruments that were not authentic Stradivariuses, by selling instruments that were not his, by forging labels, and all kinds of different methods of fooling people. Ultimately, he was Austrian, sent to prison for 6 years in Austria, and was referred to as the Bernie Madoff of the violin world. I'm not making that up. And the reason that he did so well is that he maintained such a high profile. He had a castle in Bavaria, he rode a Rolls Royce, he had offices in just about every major city in the world that no one ever even imagined, including banks that loaned him millions of dollars of money, that he would do anything underhanded. But that was the case. Now, my book is, in a way, the opposite. Machold kind of flew above the radar, and I have a character in my book who's a violin maker who kind of flies below the radar. He's a very humble character and lives out in the small town in the Berkshires, and just maintains an incredibly low profile. So again, people cannot believe that someone like Amedeo Borlotti would be involved in anything underhanded. Now, I always like to do visual graphic demonstrations. So I brought with me 2 bows, which I own. Now, each of these bows was made in France.